Hey, Mike here. So, OpenChat Dev just announced their OpenChat 3.5 update 0106, which is something that they're calling the world's best open source 7 billion parameter LLM. What we're going to do in today's video is test this out with an Obsidian vault. We're going to hop into our text generator settings, and instead of using the OpenAI chat LLM, we are going to instead use a custom LLM. Now look, I get it. It looks complicated, especially if you're not a programmer. I'm going to guide you through the entire process from start to finish. And the first step is actually downloading the model. As you can see here, I almost have it downloaded. It's at 99%. It is finished. Let me show you how to get here. So first, you're going to hop onto Bing, which, by the way, I never thought in a million years I would ever say go to bing.com instead of google.com, but times have changed. Bing is now superior to Google. You're going to go to bing.com and type in LM Studio. The first option should be lmstudio.ai. You could also just type that directly into your web browser. And then you have the option to install it. So it's either for a Mac, Windows, or Linux. Once you go through that installation process, you are going to be hit with pretty much this screen here, where you'll be able to not only see different models that are available for you to download, but if you go to this little search icon here, you are able to type in the exact URL to any type of Hugging Face model and find compatible models that will work with your specific system. Now, in my case, GGUF models are the most compatible with Mac computers, so that's why we see all of these options being GGUF at the end. I personally love using the block releases. So as long as the models match here, there's no reason to get it from anyone else except the block. In my specific case, I love to use the model that is recommended all the way down at the bottom. So slight loss of quality dash recommended. I always go for that one. If you want something faster, but you don't really care too much for the quality, which again, it all depends on how much loss of quality you want to switch out for speed. Personally, I find very little trade-off between the two, so might as well just get as much quality as I can. So I have already downloaded this OpenChat 3.5 0106. Let's head on over to the chat icon here, and now we have a new chat. I'm going to switch the model to our new OpenChat 3.5 0106. It's going to take a moment to load it up. And now that it's all loaded up, let's check the presets here. There doesn't seem to be a preset specific to OpenChat, so we will just use the default LM Studio macOS preset. I personally like to use Apple Metal GPU. All we have to do now is just reload the model to apply the new config. And there we go. We should be able to interface with it right away. Here, let's do the no internet test. As you can see, I turned off my internet access, no Wi-Fi. Let's ask something like, what is the active ingredient in coffee? Let's see what the response is. It is a very quick response, and the response is the active ingredient in coffee is caffeine, which acts as a stimulant and helps to keep you awake and alert. The concentration of caffeine in coffee can vary depending on factors such as bean type, brewing method, and serving size. On average, an 8-ounce cup of coffee contains about 95 milligrams of caffeine, although it can range from 12 to 200 milligrams per cup. So yeah, looks like the response is pretty good up until where it somewhat finishes with the sentence starting with overall, and then right away starts some sort of weird task response pairing here. And so technically it's correct. It is going a bit overboard as to how long the response should actually be. So we're going to stop generating here because I don't know how much longer it's going to go on for. It seems that the OpenChat model is capable of supporting up to 8,092 tokens. That is a lot. Let's see if we can actually reload it with that option enabled to use 8,000 tokens. So yeah, now we are able to use up to 8,192 tokens. Let's remove this. These are totally offline models. As you can see, I am not connected to the internet. You really have to mold these models to do whatever it is that you want to do. You can see that they have the great logic behind them. They're able to answer your questions, but sometimes they go a little bit overboard, so you have to rein them in. That all depends upon, of course, the system prompt that you have, as well as what kind of prompt format you're utilizing. So in the next upcoming videos, we're really going to dive into how to customize these specific models so that you can really get them to do exactly what you want and nothing more, nothing less. Before I really dive into the system prompt and adjusting the prompt format, I want to make the connection from this local inference server to my Obsidian vault. All that I'm really going to do here is start the server on port 1234. Let's start it up. Now, there are a lot of settings that are not optimal for what we're trying to accomplish here. But remember, the goal for this video is just to get that connection going, just so that we can start generating inside of our Obsidian vault without the need for OpenAI or internet at all for that matter. As you can see, we already have the endpoint here. When it comes to the API key, the API key is actually not dash needed. So that's exactly what we're going to type in here, not dash needed. Again, there are going to be a lot of choices, a lot of customizations that you're able to put here. We're taking this one step at a time. We don't want to overcomplicate everything because that'll just add to the limbic friction of getting this all set up in the first place. So now that we have all of this input, let's exit out of this and start with attempting a generation. So I'm going to do Command-Shift-G. Instead of doing that command, I'm going to show you what the command is actually. Generate text. Let's see what happens here. It says processing in the top right-hand corner. We have the little processing symbol here, as you can see. And here we go. So it is currently beginning to process something, really. Now, of course, if we go back to the LM Studio app, you can see that a lot has changed here in the console. So it says that it's received a post request with this body. That's exactly what we have currently within the Obsidian app. The content is exactly all we had within the note itself. So we had nothing except hashtag space title, hashtag space script. So we really didn't give the model anything to go off of. So what can we expect other than complete random text generation? Which that's exactly what's going on here, as you can see. It's come up with a title, an introduction, and it's talking about compound bows for beginners for some odd reason. We're going to stop the generation here. So stop stream. We've aborted the request. And so now let's try the same thing, but with something a bit more specific. Let's have a title of Top 5 Brew Packages that are most useful on a Mac OS computer. And let's give it some space here to generate. And before we begin the generation, I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi so that you can see that there is absolutely no internet connection here. And let's do the same thing here. Generate text. And here we go. So again, with absolutely no internet connection, we are generating text within our Obsidian vault. It's taken the context of our note so far. I wrote for the title portion of it, the top 5 brew packages that are most useful, and that's exactly what it is spewing out here in terms of the text generation. Now, keep in mind, this is all on a 7 billion parameter model, not 13, not 30, not 70, 7B model. So it's done 5 and it's stopped generating. So it looks like the structure of its generation is pretty on par with what we are asking it to do. 5 brew packages, and this is what it's come up with. Now let's see if we can continue from here. Let's try to switch topics. So I'm going to do hashtag next topic, and let's venture into a completely different ballpark. What are the 10 best books about self-development? Let's see what it comes up with here. Let's do the same thing, generate text, and it's processing. Here we go. So it started with a more of a title this time, and here we go. Atomic Habits, that's very true. Should be number 1 pretty much. The Power of Now. But yeah, the point of me generating this is that it's taken all of this context, even this stuff up top, and on a 7 billion parameter model, it's able to switch topics, even though, yeah, it's created an unnecessary header here. You can fix these things with formatting rules and really fine tune what the AI is doing here. Let's see if it goes through all 10 of these self-development books. That's 8. And again, we're doing all of this generation offline, no internet connection, no Wi-Fi, no VPN. And there's 10. Let's see what happens once it's done with number 10. Oh, it's starting to generate a next topic, but then it's stopped. So yeah, you are going to run into a few issues here and there where it generates a little too much after what you've originally asked it to do. But again, these are very small problems that are more so just annoying rather than quality reducing. Over the next few videos, I'm going to really dive into local text generation, all done on machine without any OpenAI API keys, without any payment necessary from third-party AI applications. All of this is Number 1, downloaded on your local laptop. Number 2, able to be run wherever you are in the world, whether you have internet connection or not. And number 3, all of this is able to be done with privacy first. As always, thank you so much for watching the video, and a special thanks to our patrons over at the Patreon. Everyone you see on screen here makes it possible for me to make videos on a daily basis and really dive deep into these AI, productivity, note-taking, automation topics that I am truly passionate about. If you'd like to join this daily list of Patreon supporters, head on over to patreon.com/SystemSculpt. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you again tomorrow.